Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Horse Racing Gamer proudly brings to you the Gallop Racer World Cup.
YouTube, what is going on? Horse Racing Gamer here. Welcome back to the Gallop Racer World Cup. I believe this is day 4, and this is the most important day of this particular Dirt Cup series because we're going to watch the qualifying race that's about to happen and the finals that will also happen. Now, this qualifying race, again, these feature the horses that finished in second place in each of the previous 9 races. We have General Way, Western Laurel, Last Pegasus, Fairy Fear, Dancing Eden, Pale Dream, Happy Bridge, Sedate Ruler, and Vast Delight. Only the top 5 horses out of this race will move on to the final race. So that's very important for everybody to keep in mind. Of course, just have to set the age to 3 here for all of them. And yeah, we are finally here to the finals. I am so excited to see which of these horses are going to prove their worth once we get there. It's the Kobe Stakes. Is a grade 3 qualifying race. Again, top 5 move on to the finals, which we will do after this race. So it should be pretty exciting. Obviously, it's going to be a much shorter video here today. I would like to start the Terp series, but of course I will do that in its own separate video, just to keep everything organized. So here we are. It's the full field of 9. We have 3 gals in this field, and the rest are colts. The favorite's going to be Vast Delight. Vast Delight essentially going off at 3-1. Sedate Ruler only the 3rd favorite. Last Pegasus is the 2nd favorite. Pale Dream looking to be the 5th. So this should be very interesting. Obviously, all these horses were good enough to finish 2nd in their first races, but they weren't able to beat the winners of those respective races. So they all still have a second chance to try to get into the final race, which will be 12.5 furlongs. It'll be the longest any of these horses have run in this series so far. Let's go down to paddock here to go through the post parade. Number 1 is General Way, ridden by Scott. It's a 3-year-old filly there. Number 1, General Way. This is number 2, Western Laurel, ridden by Howard, 6th favorite in today's field. That's number 2, Western Laurel. Number 3 is Last Pegasus, ridden by Adams. This horse is the 2nd favorite in the field. So Last Pegasus, he lost out to Quiet Sounds, a colt in his race at the Osaka Derby. So we'll see what Last Pegasus is able to do here today. The 4 is Fairy Fear, ridden by McCone. I would just say McNown. 4th favorite here today, Fairy Fear. He lost out to Beauty Value in his race at the Grade 3 Chariot Stakes. So we'll see how this track and this pace sets him. Expect him to be up there in the top 4. Number 5 is Dancing Eden, ridden by Gray, the 8th favorite. The 8th favorite. Dancing Eden, my gosh, there I go already. Dancing Eden lost out to Native Art in the America JC Stakes. Remember, that's an 11.5 furlong race on the dirt for a Grade 2. So Dancing Eden, I think she got beat by quite a bit. So she doesn't have much of a chance here today, but nonetheless, that's the 5 horse. 6 horse, Pale Dream, ridden by Tucker, the 5th favorite. Pale Dream ended up finishing behind Scarlet Jewel, the filly that actually ended up winning the Grade 1 Louisville Derby at 10.5 furlongs. Pale Dream actually led most of that race and still stayed at the front. He only lost to Scarlet Jewel by 2.5 lengths. So despite the fact that he's expected to finish 5th, he could finish a lot better, especially if he sets a faster pace. So be on the lookout for the 6 horse Pale Dream. 7 horses Happy Bridge, 9th favorite. Happy Bridge ended up losing out to Wandering Tyrant, and I swear that was by a couple of lengths. That was 9 furlongs on the dirt in an open in Miami. So Happy Bridge finished 2nd, but still that entire field got blown away by Wandering Tyrant. So can't say I'll be expecting much from Happy Bridge, but nonetheless, the horse is still here. The 8 horse is Sedate Ruler, ridden by Jenkins, the 3rd favorite. Sedate Ruler ended up losing out to Came City, the filly that ended up winning that 8 furlong open race on the dirt in Washington, D.C. I still expect Sedate Ruler to be at the front. I'd be shocked if he couldn't finish in the top 5. I still think he'll be very competitive, and he could win this race under the right circumstances, but definitely a top 5, possibly top 3 finish for this horse. And last but not least is the favorite in today's field, Vast Delight, ridden by Sams. Vast Delight ended up actually losing out to Absurd Dream, the filly, in the first race of this cup. It was 7 furlongs on the dirt in San Francisco. Vast Delight was a nice solid 2nd place finisher behind Absurd Dream. So This looks like a really good field. I cannot wait to see this race. We've gone through everything. As far as what I'm guessing, it's wide open, but I like Pale Dream, especially if that horse sets the pace. I'm going to do a 6... I'm going to do a 6-9 exacta. The 6 and 9 exacta for Pale Dream and Vast Delight. I love Sedate Ruler, but I'm a little bit concerned about him finishing in the top 2 with an even better field of horses. So I'm going to go 6-9 exacta for myself, box that, and we'll see how this race turns out. Let's go down trackside for the last qualifying race to determine the last 5 horses that'll finish in the top order of 1st to 5th. And then obviously 5 move on to the finals for a full field of 14 horses. Here we are in beautiful Kobe, Japan, and we're off and running. It's a really good start for the 3 horse. That's Last Pegasus. Pale Dream not setting the pace yet, but looking to try to challenge. There's Sedate Ruler as well. I think these horses are all going to be challenging for the lead, and they are. It is 3 at the top here. It is Last Pegasus, though, in first place. Sedate Ruler is going to try to rise up on the outside and challenge, but Sedate Ruler is tucked in second. And then we have Pale Dream, who is stalking them very closely in third. Back here to Vast Delight, the favorite in fourth. He is Happy Bridge keeping him company back there. Fairy Fear, Dancing Eden, General Way, and Western Laurel will be the trailers. Almost about 3 furlongs left to go here, and at the top, it is still Last Pegasus. Sedate Ruler, keeping that horse company. Pale Dream, right in between both of them. 2.5 furlongs left to go. We're approaching the final turn here. The top 5 horses move on. Now, there's a late move there from Vast Delight, the favorite. He's going to get going. There's the rise from Sedate Ruler, and down the stretch we come. Less than a furlong left to go, and it's still Vast Delight. Sedate Ruler still trying to run with that horse. On the inside, it's still Last Pegasus. Pale Dream has called it a day, but the favorite Vast Delight is going to get up there, and Sedate Ruler actually finishes in second, I believe, at the wire. So fantastic to see that Sedate Ruler could actually hold off to finish in the top 2. I said I'd be surprised if he didn't finish in the top 5. Vast Delight, the favorite, ends up getting the win, at least by about a length and a half. I think that's as easy as it'll get for that horse. Ran comfortably, was able to save ground, and was just a little bit too much. So the finishing order and the top 5 horses are going to move on into the finals, and I believe it's the top 5 that deserve to be there. Actually, when you look at how they finished, the top 5 horses that were supposed to finish 1 through 5 in some order, they all finished up there. And the horses that finished or are supposed to finish between 6th and 9th, they finished between 6th and 9th. So to go through the order, Vast Delight ends up winning first place. Sedate Ruler for the place in second. Last Pegasus for the show in third. Fairy Fear in fourth. And Pale Dream closing out the 5th spot and the final spot to determine all of the horses for the final race. So I think all those horses definitely deserve to be there. This last race is going to be something special, man. I cannot absolutely wait to see this finals kick off. Western Laurel 6th, Happy Bridge 7th, General Way 8th, and Dancing Eden 9th. The dividends, they don't pay out much, obviously. 1, 3, 2 in terms of how the horses were supposed to finish with Vast Delight, Sedate Ruler, and Last Pegasus. But nonetheless, those 5 horses will advance to the finals here as we roll on. So again, very, very good stuff there in that race. Let's see, we have Vast Delight, Sedate Ruler, Pale Dream is the last spot. We have Fairy Fear, and I believe Last Pegasus, General Way, Western Laurel, Dancing Eden, and Happy Bridge did not amount to anything. Wow, that was that race went as it should have, and obviously now we're in a position to put together the final race, which I will obviously be doing. It'll be 12.5 furlongs for the Pine Grand Prix in Hiroshima, Japan. 12.5 furlongs on the dirt. Longest distance these horses would have had to run. And I'm very, very excited for this race. Full field of 14 horses. Conditions are going to be somewhat cloudy. I'll go ahead and edit the field, and then I will get back to you guys once we're down at the paddock for the final race, the championship here in this dirt World Cup. All right, guys, the final race is about to approach. Most of the horses in this field are either double S, S, maybe 2 A's, and then like an F. I cannot wait. All the horses have been drawn accordingly, and we're going to get to trackside. Just as a disclaimer, I apologize if I've confused any horses, because let's be honest, there's a lot of horses in this game. I'm still not completely familiar with every single horse in this game. That's not even realistic for me. So some horses I am confusing with others and calling them either different names or different genders or whatever. So just as a disclaimer, guys, here we are for the championship race in the Dirt World Cup. It's 12.5 furlongs, the longest distance any of these horses have run in this series in Hiroshima. Cloudy conditions here today, and we'll see who the post-time favorite is. And it is Beauty Value. Beauty Value is the post-time favorite, followed by the 12-horse Secret Alpha. Can't say I saw that coming. Wandering Tyrant doesn't have a chance today, it appears. Sedate Ruler sitting there at 4th, still looking strong. I'm really shocked by that. And the third favorite is Fairy Fear. So some horses are favored a lot higher than I thought. But again, it is a much, much longer distance than any of them have run. So clearly I think some of these horses will not have the stamina, but that's the point of doing a championship race. We'll go all the way to the 1 horse and see how this pans out. So the 1 horse, to start off today's final race for the Pine Grand Prix here in Hiroshima, is going to be Absurd Dream. 5th favorite here today. And that is the 1 horse, Absurd Dream. 2 horse, Pale Dream, ridden by Hines. This horse is the 8th favorite. And unfortunately for Pale Dream, doesn't seem to have much of a chance here today. This horse just got into the finals by finishing 5th in the last race we watched. So still not terrible odds. I mean, depending on how this race breaks down, this horse could have a chance. But we'll have to wait and see. The 3 horses, Wandering Tyrant, ridden by Donald. This horse apparently has no chance here today. I thought he had a really strong win against Happy Bridge at the Brazil Stakes in Miami, but this horse is the long shot, no chance here today. And 50 stamina, 12.5 furlongs. Yeah, that's a tough ask and a tough distance. So Wandering Tyrant looking like he is out of his element. The 4 horse is going to be Fairy Fear, 3rd favorite here today, ridden by Owens. Fairy Fear ended up getting himself in this race by qualifying in the last race. That was very important. I think finished 4th, if I'm not mistaken, 3rd or 4th. Regardless, got into this race and is actually the 3rd favorite in today's field. So got to watch out for Fairy Fear. Considering that this horse didn't win in its original race against Beauty Value, still really good odds when you add these other horses in. That's the 4, Fairy Fear. 5 horse, Came Sitting, ridden by Norton, 11th favorite. Came City, one of the only 3 fillies in this race. She ended up actually beating Sedate Ruler at the H Stakes in Washington, D.C. But today, Sedate Ruler is expected to finish much higher than her. So it just goes to show you, different course, different going, different distance can definitely reflect the odds. That's the 5 horse, Came City. 6 horse, Vast Delight, the winner of the last qualifying race we just watched. He'll be ridden by Sam's. Vast Delight expected to finish 7th here today. I think anything is possible with this horse. Has lost to Absurd Dream already, so that's something to be mindful of. But there's the 6 horse, Vast Delight. Could still have a pretty good showing here today. Expected to finish 7th. We'll have to wait and see. Here's the 7 horse, Scarlet Jewel, the 2nd filly in this field, ridden by Starks. She's the 9th favorite. She ended up winning the Grade 1 Louisville Derby. She beat Pale Dream. And she's not expected to do too hot here today, so perhaps the distance is a little bit too long for her. Her stats aren't bad. 63 stam going 12.5 furlongs, though, maybe pushing it. But nonetheless, that's the 7 horse Scarlet Jewel, expected to finish 9th here today. The 8 horse is our beloved Sedate Ruler, ridden by Jenkins, the 4th favorite. Sedate Ruler still looking strong here today. He's lost to a couple of horses in this field, but he's still expected to finish 4th overall. He has 73 stamina. That helps him out a lot, as well as his other ratings that are important for this dirt course. So Sedate Ruler still looking strong, still has a chance to potentially win this dirt cup. But that is Sedate Ruler, the 8 horse. 9 horse is Native Art, ridden by Pitt. Native Art ended up winning the America JC Stakes. That's the 11.5 furlong Grade 2. Beat out Dancing Eden, who did not qualify to get into this final race. But this horse is expected to finish 2nd to last. That's the 9 horse, Native Art. 10 horse, Familiar Fang, ridden by Tucker, is expected to finish 12th here today. Familiar Fang ended up winning the Grade 1 Osaka Sprint somehow. And granted, I think this horse probably is a sprinter. 53 stamina. Yeah, this is a very, very fast horse at shorter distances. Not built for the long-term duration, and expected to finish 12th. That's the 10, Familiar Fang. 11 horse, and today's favorite, it's the Beautiful Gray, otherwise known as Beauty Value, ridden by Grimm. Beauty Value ended up winning the Grade 3 Chariot Stakes, beating Fairy Fear. Got into this race on that merit alone and is still looking to be the favorite here today. So Beauty Value, 73 stam, really good stats, 97 heart. It's going to be a very tough horse to beat. We'll be running towards the front, but won't be setting the pace. So Beauty Value is going to be in a prime and perfect position to win this championship here today. And that's the 11 horse. 12 horse, the second favorite, who should be keeping Beauty Value company. This is Secret Alpha. Secret Alpha ended up winning the Grade 1 Osaka Mile at 8 furlongs. And, yeah, should also be running there with Beauty Value. Has the stamina to run, has the speed, has a good heart rating. So the 11 and the 12 horses to look out for as the 1 and 2 favorites. Secret Alpha will be ridden by Marion in the all orange. That's the second favorite. The 13 horse is Quiet Sound, ridden by Gray, the 10th favorite here today. Quiet Sound ended up winning the Grade 1 Osaka Derby. Those are pretty good results here for this colt. Not good stamina, so we'll probably struggle with this distance, but nonetheless, that is the 13 horse Quiet Sound. And last but not least is the 14 horse Last Pegasus, ridden by Murphy, expected to finish 6th. Last Pegasus ended up actually getting into this race based off of the last race we just ran. And finished, I think, 3rd or 4th. But regardless, got in, finished 2nd in that Osaka Derby behind Quiet Sound. Better odds here today. As you can see, slightly better stamina, 66. Heart is 12, though. So if this horse gets into a head-to-head, expect Last Pegasus to fall down in the order. So that's the full field of 14 horses for today's championship race, going 12.5 furlongs. As far as where I'm looking, today Ruler, he showed much better strength and bounced back in that qualifying race. I still think Absurd Dream is looking strong. Fairy Fear. A lot of these horses, I think, under the right conditions can have a chance, at least the horses that have the stamina. Beauty Value is still the favorite. Secret Alpha sitting there at the second favorite. I'm going to do a trifecta box here for 1, which is Absurd Dream, 8, which is Sedate Ruler, and then 11, which is Beauty Value. I'm going to go 1, 8, 11 for my trifecta box. And then I'll just say any of those horses, if they finish in the top 2, that'll be my exacta box. So 1, 8, 11 box for me. Absurd Dream, Sedate Ruler, and Beauty Value. With all that being done and said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go trackside for the 12.5 furlong Grade 2 Pine Grand Prix to determine our Dirt Championship winner here today. Major River with the record here. I swear she's not that good of a horse, but the game swears she is. So it is what it is. Full house, full turnout here today. They're in the gates, and they're off and running. Great start there for the 5 horse. I believe that is Kame City. She got out to a rocket start, but Sedate Ruler, he's going to go to the front early, and he is actually going to establish the pace here, as he should. So this gives Sedate Ruler the advantage. He's got to get himself going at the right time. The only downside is these other horses that are going to be trailing, they'll be able to save a little bit more ground, a little bit more stamina. So Sedate Ruler's going to have to run the perfect race, I think, to keep the win. Pale Dream is sitting there in second, couple lengths off the lead, followed by Last Pegasus. Then comes Kame City. Then we have a bunch of horses. We have Beauty Value and the second favorite Secret Alpha moving up. The 10 horse Familiar Fang was also moving up. So less than 9 furlongs left to go. Still Sedate Ruler. He is going to stay out front for a majority of this race. There's Pale Dream, keeping him company slightly a couple lengths off in second place. Last Pegasus still sitting there in third. Beauty Value, the favorite, in fourth with Secret Alpha, tailing Beauty Value. In fifth, then comes Familiar Fang, Kame City. Then a gaggle of horses which includes Quiet Sound, Vast Delight, Absurd Dream, Native Art. A couple more lengths back to Scarlet Jewel, Fairy Fear, and the trailer is Wandering Tyrant, who is the long shot here today. 5.5 furlongs left to go. Sedate Ruler still out in front. We're getting a little bit of a move here from the 9 horse. It's Native Art. That horse is expected to finish second to last. See if they can amount anything. Pale Dream still sitting there comfortably in second. Secret Alpha slowly starting to move up to challenge Pale Dream for second place. Beauty Value is just keeping them right in eyesight in fourth. Beauty Value is in prime stalking position, the only gray in this race, right there in the middle of the 2 horses of Pale Dream and Secret Alpha. Beauty Value is going to be ready to strike, and I think that horse is going to be extremely tough to beat in the stretch, considering being able to save ground. 2.5 furlongs left to go. The field is starting to move here. This is the Grand Championship for the Dirt Championship. There goes the 13 horse. I believe that's Quiet Sound making a move, if I'm not mistaken. Sedate Ruler's going to answer back, and here comes the favorite Beauty Value right down the middle of the track. Down the stretch we come. It's less than half a furlong at this point. It is still Beauty Value pouring it on. It is going to be Beauty Value, Sedate Ruler. And then I believe that's the 13 horse. Quiet Sound could have finished up there for third, potentially, battling with Secret Alpha. So, wow, Quiet Sound wasn't expected to do much here today. Ended up getting up there potentially for third, but Beauty Value, proving to be too strong, ends up being the championship winner here in the Dirt World Cup Series. Beauty Value followed by Sedate Ruler. Both of the grays finishing 1 and 2. For any of us, which is most of us that love grays, you got to be happy with that result. And there is the results. Got to say, Beauty Value winning, not really surprised. That horse looked really strong in the previous in the Chariot Stakes, I should say, not the previous race, but the first race that horse ran. If I could even get it together, looked really strong in that race. And proved to be just as strong here today. Sedate Ruler, though, finishing in second. I did not get Absurd Dream, the one horse up there for my trifecta, but at least I would have had an exacta box 11 and 8 with Beauty Value and Sedate Ruler, proving, at least out of this field, they are two of the stronger dirt horses, especially over a longer distance. Quiet Sound was expected to finish 10th. That horse ended up finishing in third, so really good result there for Quiet Sound. Fourth was Secret Alpha, the second favorite. Fifth was Fairy Fear, dropped down the order a bit. Sixth was Scarlet Jewel, ended up moving up 3 spots from where she was supposed to finish. 7 was Vast Delight, ended up finishing exactly where he needed to be. 8th was Native Art. Was supposed to finish second to last, actually finished 8th, so not a bad result there for Native Art. 9 was the other filly, Came City. She finished 2 spots higher than where she was supposed to. 10th was Last Pegasus, ended up finishing 4 spots worse than where he should have finished. The 11, or I should say, finishing in 11th was Familiar Fang, only 1 spot up from where he was supposed to finish, or she was supposed to finish, excuse me. 12 was Absurd Dream, did not look good here today at this distance, was supposed to finish 5th, ended up finishing 12th, so really bad result for that horse. Finishing 13th was Pale Dream, ended up dropping down a couple of spots as well from the earlier goings of that race, and finishing in last place, 7 lengths off, had no chance at this longer distance, was Wandering Tyrant. And you can see the dividends. That trifecta paid nicely, 11, 8, 13, 670, and that would be off of a $2 trifecta bet. So you're betting $4, you're coming up on over $1,000 in U.S. currency. So I'm going to go ahead and watch that back again. Maybe I can change some camera angles. I would like to actually do that just to get some different perspectives. But Sedate Ruler, he actually got out to a really strong start, and then it was Pale Dream that was going to keep him company, only a couple lanes off the lead back there in second. But wow, what a performance there for Beauty Value. Obviously, I'm well aware of that horse's abilities. You guys have used it. I believe Basic has used Beauty Value. So a really strong gray. Beautiful gray as well. Love the blue shadow roll. I think that really complements that horse very nicely. But strong performance from Beauty Value. And then Sedate Ruler still finishing strong in second as well. Like I said, I love to see the 2 grays finishing in the top 2 spots there. So Beauty Value is going to end up being your dirt World Cup champion. And just the thing, we still have the turf to get to, ladies and gentlemen. And on the turf, in each one of those turf races, at least one of my horses will be in there. So I actually have a chance to try to make some history with my own horses in this series, but we'll have to wait and see. King B, hopefully, Honest Pegasus. I'm hoping those horses get to the final. So as you can see, as we approach the final furlong, we're in the deep stretch. Or no, they're on the back stretch. Thought they were in the stretch yet. They are not. Not in the stretch yet. Forgot this was a 12.5 furlong race, so quite the distance. Oh yeah, they went. Did they go around twice? It didn't seem like that. It didn't seem like they went around twice. But yeah, I guess that race was much longer than I thought, especially on this track. This is a much shorter track, so they do have to go around twice. So this race was a real test. That's why I wanted to run it. I didn't find a suitable grade 1 for these horses, so this was the next best bet. And I think it was a good race to really test these horses out to see what horses are good at running at these longer distances, especially on a track where you're having to go around twice. That's also very tough. That was a very good effort for Quiet Sound, a 13 horse you see making the move up on the outside right there. Sedate Ruler and Beauty Value, they pretty much got going at the same exact time, but Beauty Value is proving too strong in deep stretch. And, you know, was able to thwart off that threat there from Sedate Ruler and Quiet Sound. But nonetheless, it was still a fantastic result there at the top for Beauty Value, Sedate Ruler. And then, like I said, Quiet Sound getting that 13th position. Oh, man. Well, guys, with that being said, that will conclude the Dirt World Cup Championship. Beauty Value being your winner, Sedate Ruler being your runner-up, and third on the podium would have to be Quiet Sound. Actually, and that makes sense. Quiet Sound did win the Grade 1 Osaka Derby at 10 furlongs, so Quiet Sound proving it's capable of running the longer distances and still having a chance at keeping up with Sedate Ruler and Beauty Value. You guys let me know your thoughts on this series in the comment section below. Turf World Cup will be starting immediately. In fact, I'm just going to continue recording here today, and I will start, obviously, with that championship as well. Like I said, I'm excited to finally see my horses, more of my horses getting into the mix. I only had 2 dirt horses, and both of them did not finish well. So it'll be really exciting to see the turf horses. Honest Pegasus, I think, is our best dirt horse. Our best turf horse out of all of our horses. Remember, we ran them together in a race in the first day of the Gallop Racer World Cup, and Honest Pegasus won that quite easily. So he'll be up in the first leg here of the Turf World Cup. That should be uploaded tomorrow or the day after. The first race will be a Grade 3 going 10 furlongs on the turf at Key West in Miami. So it should be a beautiful day, should be a good race, and I'm hoping Honest Pegasus finishes in the top 2, because remember, top 2 will get to the finals. The championship race for the Turf Series will be 12 furlongs in Hong Kong. That should be a pretty nice turf race. I might up the distance a little bit, but I think 12 furlongs for all those horses will be realistic. So, yeah, we'll be starting the Turf Grand Prix here, like I said, within a day or 2 days. Pink Gemstone will be in a race. She'll be in race 2. Flying Cowboy will be in race 3. King Bee will be in race 4. Onyx Prince will be in race 5. Bionic Bot will be in race 6. Crackle Thunder in race 7. Free Aquarius in race 8. And Bionic Monster in race 9. So I technically have 9 chances to get 9 of my horses into the final race. I really only expect Honest Pegasus, Cowboy, and King Bee probably to be the 3 horses that get through. I think the others may struggle, but it depends on the fields. We'll see. Maybe they'll actually run really well. But nonetheless, guys, that concludes it for the Dirt World Cup here today. Hopefully you have enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you guys for the Turf World Cup Championship starting within 48 hours. Until next time, it's Horse Racing Gamer signing out. You have a great fantastic day. We'll see you later, and goodbye.
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.